Hello, everyone. Welcome to join this Expert today's training. Today, our topic is this: explore AI tool to boost your ZK development. Okay, let's start by using the presentation. Okay, this is today's outline. So first, I'll give you some tools, because sorry, I need to reload this page again. To get the latest one. Okay. Yeah, this is the outline today. Yeah, and I will give you some tool that I use because there are so many AI tools, and every day or every week they update together. They update very fast. So I didn't try all things, but I give you some of that. And then I will give you some ways to build your ZK-specific AI space. That could be paid, could be free. And the last part is the most important part. I will tell you how to create your like a self-service AI in your local environment for ZK to help you to answer some ZK questions based on ZK documentation and the ZK example code. So that's the final part is the most important. So you can see it's most a bit longer here. So this time I choose cursor. Yeah, surely you can choose other IDE. I think that this way, the way today I tell you, you can apply to other other IDE like WinServe or anything, any other similar IDE. Then we will try to ask some question here to demonstrate how it works. Okay, let's continue. So I tried some AI tooling like VS Code plus Cline. So maybe you also use that. The VS Code, the Cline is extension. Here you can see if you install Cline extension in your cursor, there's a symbol here. Then you can invoke the Cline. They have a two mode. Basically, it's the AI extension for VS Code. So, but it's very, if you are use VS Code very frequently, they might be one of those choice. And to install it, there are two mode. One is plain mode, one is act mode. The plain mode means you just answer your questions just like a chat mode. So it doesn't really edit your file. The act mode means you will actually modify your file. So you can, sometimes people will start with the plain mode, then try to ask some questions, and then after he answers, he will switch to act mode to really modify it. But this tool requires to pay something. You need to purchase the API quota before using it. So you need to purchase either Google API, OpenAI API's quota first, and get a API key to use it. So this is the first tool I've tried. So okay, and then there's another tool. Where's my Chrome? Yeah, the problem is there's no free quota for this. So the second one is you can try, if you use IntelliJ like me, you will try to install Copilot plugin. So let's try. The Copilot plugin is very easy to use, and it has a free it's a free quota you can try. So if you use Copilot here in your IntelliJ, there will be something like this. You can X or edit like a plain mode and act mode. So X means you just ask questions to it, and it just answers your question. It doesn't really modify your file. But edit modes, you need to when you ask questions, he will actually change your file. But he also have a agent mode. but agent mode is preview. So when I use it, I found there are some problems. So it doesn't always have a good result. And only the agent mode can use MCP server. So I will talk later. So later I dropped this because this agent mode doesn't work really well at this moment. So maybe in the future it will improve. Okay. So let's go back to my slide. And then the other way, except these two tools that integrate into your IDE, there's another way to create. If you want something free, you can create a ZK specific space. One is this one is also paid. It's OpenAI Assistance. It's actually a tool that inside the OpenAI. So if you check it, it's here. Oh no, it's not here. It's in here. So if you check OpenAI platform, if you enter his playground, you can create assistants. And this assistant, sorry, takes the time. And you can create a ZK specific assistant. So you can create an assistant there, here, and give it a name and give it some system instruction like you are ZK framework consultant, answer ZK questions, and choose your model. Then surely you have to purchase some API quota first. And then you can upload. The key is to upload some ZK books here. So you can download zkbooks from here. There are many PDF. Just choose what you need and upload here. Then he will answer question based on, you can enable the file search. So when he answers your questions, he will check the ZK documentation and answer your question. So this is will be useful. And but sure, this also requires some you need to pay first. You pay the API purchase API quota. So the second one is Perplexity AI. It's also, but it's free. But there is a feature here in Perplexity AI. You can go here, and there's a space, and the space you can create here. You can create a new space for yourself, and in this space you can give in some instruction. Yeah, just like assistant, give instruction like answer questions or give suggestion based on ZK UI framework documentation or codes. And then you can upload files. You can see I already upload PDF from ZK. It's all I want. Most or major things I want here because its maximum is 5 PDF file. So if I want other resource, I need to using link. So I can add links here, like client-side reference or Java doc, something here. So we can ask questions like here to ask ZK questions. Then you can see I already asked several questions here, and then he will ask based on his knowledges in these books and answer your questions. So this will be, and this is free. Yeah, so you can always use it, and it's free. So it's very easy to use and set up. You can even share with others. So maybe one person can set up for you, for yourself, and then you can share with others with this, with your teams. And the second one is Felo AI. Felo AI is very similar. He has something called here. He also has something called topic collection. So in the topic collection, you can do a similar thing. You can create a topic. So I already create a topic called ZK consultants. So or just call ZK. And here you can see also allow you to upload 5 files. So you can download all ZK documentation that is useful for you. Upload 5, and others just using links here, so add ZK related links here and asking questions. So when asking questions, then he will base on these resource and give you some answers. Okay, so this is the another one, and this is also free. Okay, it's also free, so you can ask anything you want. And if you want more or more complicated problem or search more, there's another new features I just found today. So this is called Fellow Agents. What's the difference? The Fellow Agent, you will do multiple steps. So if you create a Fellow Agents, you can set up. Okay, you can create an agent. And in this agent, you can give it names and give it descriptions here and also some zk topic keywords. And he will do multiple steps. Okay, here. So you can define your step. So this is the basic step he will do. For example, he can, when you ask the questions, he will try to uh, check the background series. You can tell him to even search your topic collection, because in my topic collection, I already upload ZK PDF documents. So I can ask him to check there before answering my question. Then you can check official documentation and source code repository, code snippet, API reference, community forums, or even latest research update, something like this. So he will do multiple steps. Here, you can even remove step or add step here. So it just not search in one source, and it will check multiple steps. So after check multiple steps, when he will answer your questions here. So it will take long, so it will take a bit long. For example, let's try one questions. For example, let's try here. I prepared some question already. For example, here, testing ZK page, I cannot locate element, how to solve it, because ZK will use elements, and he will confirm with you, okay, he will check this. So we don't wait for, because it takes several minutes, but just show you the process. For first, try to search the background and give you some idea. And he also randomize. He will tell you something related. You can see here, he will search just the first step, and second step to check the official document. Here, so this way it has a little problems because it gets a little bit too much. Yeah, because it will search with maybe 7 steps. So he will give you many things that you still need to check. So maybe you can reduce a step, and you also search your source code to give you something. For example, this is related to ZK test, unit test, something like this. So it's good, but it's a little bit too much, I think. So, but if you want something a little bit complicated and require multiple resource, then this is also a way you can use, and it's still free now. So I think it can help you. Okay, so you can see it takes some time because now you collect many things, even code example, tell you how to get a component, ID generator. Okay, almost got to the real answer. So this is the real, usually this is the answer we will suggest you to, if you try to locate that element in your test, because the UUID is always dynamic. So we will usually suggest you to implement the ID generator. So it's also contains the right answer, but it's buried in lots of information. Okay, so yeah, surely using ID is also a way. Yeah. So there are too many, so we don't wait for him. So just give you an idea about this agent, Fellow agent, multi-step search agent, and it's good because it's free. Okay, and next one. Oh, why it doesn't disappear? Okay. Okay. The next one is the important part. It's a self-service AI for ZK, and this way I help tell you the steps that you can set up in your local environments. So because we don't provide a centralized remote AI service, yeah. So instead of provide this way, we tell you how to set up your dedicated AI in your local environment. So here, okay. So we will leverage you the popular AI IDE. Sorry, this is like Cursor, Windsurf. I will demonstrate using Cursor, but actually you can apply the same rule to Windsurf or even other IDE in the future, something called Tray or something. And you can choose your preferred AI model. Maybe it's free or you pay, you can choose it. Okay. And so this way, what the benefit or the strength is you can control. You can control how you use. You can choose your preferred AI model. If we can provide an AI model to answer your questions, then we'll limit by that AI model. Maybe you don't want. Well, there is because different AI model have different speed, different accuracy, and in your local environment, you can control. Specific to your need. So you can select different model, you can switch different models on your own. So in the future, even there is a new AI model, you can easily swap them. So you don't have to be limited by the AI model that we provide. And basically, we will let AI model to read, to get knowledges from ZK documentation and example code. So this documentation example is maintained by us. So this is almost the source of truth, and we will it's almost the latest. It's not outdated or inaccurate information. And it's cost efficiency because you can choose free, or if you want maybe more powerful model, you can choose commercial paid AI model. Depends on your preference. You don't have to be limited, so you can choose. And even you can, if you really care about privacy, you can even use your own local AI model. Yeah, some tool, I think most of the tool can create or leverage your local AI models. So your questions will be limited inside your local environment. You don't have to send your question to the remote AI model and to review some of your sensitive data. So this is the way we suggest you. But using this way, we need to configure the MCP server. So maybe some of you know and some of you don't know. So I'll give you a very short overview, but you can check information on the web. So the MCP is this stand for this is a model context protocol. It's an open standard for AI integration. So just like a MCP, just USB-C port for AI application. Because AI application or for AI agent, for AI only use text, but there are some resources that cannot be easily used with text. So with MCP server, the AI can get some resource through this MCP server, through this MCP protocol. So it will simplify the connecting AI models with external data or tools. Yeah, for example, like ZK source code, maybe it doesn't know where to get it or where to get the ZK documents. So the MCP server usually will expose some resource and the tools to AI models. And they will handle requests from AI clients. The AI client usually means AI agent and return some response. So it's real time. So when you interact with AI agents, you will try to call or utilize this MCP server to get some resource. Okay, so the AI can access some fresh external information dynamically. Okay, next. So actually, the client also support MCP server. So you can do it in client or in ZK, sorry, in the cursor. So this is the way you can use. So if in client, you can also configure MCP server by using this But actually today I will tell you the cursor's way. So in the client, you can hear there's a MCP server marketplace. You can install it. So for example, you can install MCP server for GitHub. After you installed, when you want to access the GitHub repository, you can tell him, say, okay, access zkos GitHub repository to tell me, for example, this is the zk document GitHub repository. You can tell me to access here to get anything you want, maybe some questions or zk question or zkbooks. Yeah, to get some zkbooks example code. So you can install a GitHub MCP server to ask him to access this repository to query some example code or some related document for you. So this is the basic idea for my approach. But this approach will, yeah, it takes the network latencies. So it takes a big long time. So the other way, oh, okay, that's another way is using IntelliJ Copilot. A Copilot also have a, just like I say, Copilot also can allow you to install MCP server here, but you must use in agent mode. The agent mode can call MCP server, but in other modes like X or Edit doesn't call MCP. But as I tried recently, I found it doesn't very good, but and its install need to do something like this. So it's a bit trouble, but so I choose another tool. So you can still try it because it's integrated with your ID. Usually we use IntelliJ to write Java. So this is some problems when I use the above MCP servers in above tool. And so I choose to use why to use cursor and the cursor because it's quite popular recently and it's many has many tutorial. Surely you can try this WinServe, Tray, or anything else because these tools change a lot or change frequently. So what I mentioned describe now maybe will be invalid in several weeks or 1 week or 2 weeks. Maybe other tool will appears and then will be better than cursor. It could be. So I just try to give you some idea about the one tool, but you can apply the same rule to other tools. Okay. So before using this, I will suggest you these tools. Just like I say, we want to read, let the AI to read knowledge from ZK. So you need to clone these two repositories. One is zkbooks, one is zkdocs. The zkbooks contain the example, all the source code, example source code from our documentation. I mean, almost not, maybe some is missing. So we are try to complete it. So everything, most of the example code mentioned in this document, that developer reference, MVVM reference, and component reference, we usually, in documentation, we usually have code snippet. It's not runnable, but just show the key parts for readability. So in zkbooks, it contains a complete runnable code here, and it's a complete project. So you can see developer reference here is a Maven project that you can even start it to visit every page and it contains, for example, the MVC, the view. This section names, this folder name match the section name, and it contains the code example mentioned in the documentation. So okay, so here is the example code. And zkdocs is all the documentation except the small talk. Yeah, we already converted to Markdown here. So although there are some still have some cross-link problem, we are still fixing, but mainly the text content are identical from the main wiki. In the future, we will migrate this media wiki page to GitHub page. Okay, so this is in progress, but all the content we now are just fixing some typos and link problems. But all the contents are here. You can check clone this repository to get all the ZK documentations. Okay, so the first you need to do the step is to clone these two repositories in your local file system. Then you need to configure your MCP servers in cursors. And here, in cursors, cursor is an independent IDE, so you need to download it and install it. And you can see the cursor actually is based on VS Code. So if you are familiar with VS Code, you will be familiar with cursor because everything the same. Just there is one more things called cursor setting here. Okay. So in cursor setting, there is it's called MCP tool. Let's make it sure. Sometimes the MCP, I already installed several MCP servers. Now I just enable this one, file system and server sequential thinking. So you can here, you can try to install this by using new MCP server. And there is a cursor MCP server, there are many ways to install it. Cursor MCP server, yes. So you can check here to install it. Usually will provide the configuration, or you can check others like okay. Mystery here is also a site that contains lots of MCP server that you can search. And inside here, for example, we can call file system MCP server here. And he will tell you how to install it here. It will also open the cursor here. You can install and just install that. It will install for you. Okay, so you don't have to actually configure the JSON file by yourself, but if possible, sometimes you need, but now they already made quite well, so you can just find the MCP server you want and try to click the install and it will install for you. Okay, so I suggest you to install at least two MCP server. One is the file system, because it will read file, write file, edit file, even search file for you. So it's the MCP server help agent to access your local file system. But be noticed that the search file only search file names, not search with file content. Okay. And the second one is what I suggest is the sequential thinking. It's just like a multi-step. So when you ask a question, sometimes it requires multi-steps. So you will try to split it, a task, and do it step by step. So you will break down your complex problem, and you will revise and refine it. And so you will do your task one by one. So when you ask a question, sometimes you will split into multiple steps and do it one by one. And next one, I didn't use it this time, but sometimes if you want to reference some document or some data from the server, you can, from the web, you can just install this fetch map MCP. So you can reference the URL here in the agents, and it will tell you, it will try to fetch the content for you. Okay, so this is the MCP server I suggest you to install. And the first two is, I think it's required for my approach today. Then you need to configure the rules because when you ask the ZK questions, you want agent to actually look for a ZK document before answering you. Okay, and every time when you ask the questions, you don't want to tell him every time some context. So you can configure the rules, then he will always follow the rules. So there are two rules in cursor here. In cursor setting, there are rules. Let's close it now. One is the user rule. The user rule applies to whole multiple projects. So usually it's related to yourself. For example, if you want some specific format or some response languages or personal style, you can specify here. But the problem is, yeah, the VS Code doesn't support explore this custom rule, because it's inside here. It's inside cursor setting. So far I didn't find a way. So yeah, you need to you need to copy and paste to others if some of you share the same rule. And the next one is the project rule, is what I use these times. Here is a project rule. You can see it will create a file under cursor rule here. I will create MDC is a rule here, and it's a rule then for these projects. So here you can see I create the rules. Here is this is the key part. Then I will share to you. For example, first I will define these two paths. ZK document is here. ZK example code is here. So first I will tell him when answering questions related to ZK, you will always follow the steps. Step 1, search book TOC, and step 2, full text, and then the search strategy or step refile strategy, something like this. And then we'll providing ZK related code, you will try to do something. Okay, you just check the ZK example code and answer me. So this is the key part of this approach to tell agent how he use these documents, and you can choose. For me, I choose always, but you can choose either, for example, agent request, because maybe not you doesn't always ask ZK questions. Okay, so this is the basic the setup. Set up the project rule, and I will share these rules in a GitHub repository here. I think it's in here. It's in AI demo. Okay, there's an AI demo here, and you can see these projects to share rule. But actually, Windsurf or other ID have the similar things, have similar feature like it's also called project rule, some workspace rule, something like this. So you can actually, if you use another ID, I think they also have this kind of rule you can use to configure it. So okay, after set up this, when you ask question, you will follow your rule, but sometimes this is AI, it's not my fault. Sometimes it still don't follow the project rule. So you have to ask it to follow it. Yeah, because when you try to solve these problems, or answer your question, he will show what he done. And you will find sometimes he still don't follow my rules, and I don't know why. Yeah, so you have to ask him to do it. Okay, so for example, let's ask a question like, for example, the UUID questions, for example. So here we already have set up this, and we can start a new questions because every time, so this is a ZK question, and sometimes if he doesn't identify this is a ZK question, he will, for example, now this time it doesn't really follow my project rule because maybe he doesn't recognize this is a ZK questions. So this is a problem. So sometimes I need to explicitly say answer ZK question to let him know, okay, this is the ZK question and please follow my project rules. And usually he should use like this. Usually he should use this, he should follow this rule, but sometimes it doesn't. So you have to tell him, say, okay, you tell him, say, stop it to follow my project rule. Yeah, so now you will follow a project rule to search the document TOC, and you will do this. So he will try to, you can see now, how to tell, does he follow your project rule is, does he call the MCP server? Yeah, if he doesn't call the MCP server, that means he used his own knowledge to answer you. If that's fine, then you can, if that will answer your question, that's fine. But if he doesn't, then you must explicitly tell him to follow the project rule. Then he will try to calling MCP server to read file, to read documents, and to try to search the answers with with my Mac grep command. If you are not using Mac, you can change this command to your Windows search command, because the MCP rules, the file system MCP server, like I say, he just search with file name. He doesn't search with file content. So, but I need to search with file content. So that's why in the step 2, I tell him must run the actual Mac command grep command, because this tool can help to search the page content instead of just checking the file name. The file name is not enough. Okay, so you can see after checking the document, you can see this is the first answer that he answered me without checking the document. You can see its answer is quite weird because we don't have a zk test attribute, and so it's weird. So this is not actually the answer record in the document. So this is the second time. Follow my project rule. Usually will follow, but sometimes, just like I say, sometimes doesn't follow my project rule. That you ask him to follow project rule, then he will search the documentation and search, and then he will find, okay, there is a from zkdoc documentation. Either you can, if you want, when you test, you can use the component ID to locate an element. Yeah, this is the first the suggestion we will give you in document, or you will use a predictable UUID for testing. Yeah, this is usually the answer we will give you and tell you how to use it, or disable UID, something like this. So here you can see will tell you based on what documents say. So this will be the better answer. Okay, so this is, if it doesn't follow the project rule, it will give you the bad answer. So for example, let's try a second questions. I hope he can identify, answer the ZK questions. Okay, so yeah, sometimes, I don't know why, sometimes it doesn't, because every time it just have different results. Sometimes when I try it, it always follow my project, but sometimes when I test, it doesn't follow. I'm still checking this. So you can see, we'll read the navigation. You just follow my project rule to do what I tell him. Yeah, so you can see the action he will do here and to know, does he really follow your action, your project rule. So if you have a specific requirement, you can also change the project rule. Here is the project rule I just provide you for reference, and you can base on it to write yourself. But this is what I try for recent days. At least it's as a is a good way. So you can see my questions. Okay, then he give you at least it's the better answer, so we can compare. So my question is, you can see this is a common question. Text box show error message pop up. Usually it's the error pop ups, and inside a scrollable container, someone will ask if you scroll down inside the container, this pop up. The pop up usually by default it's at the fixed position. It doesn't scroll with the text box. So the arrow box will always be fixed in for example, in the center of the container. But so there is a way. So here actually, without reading the document, he will tell you some general ways in JavaScript or in CSS. Okay, but after reading the document, the second time he follow the project rule, reading the document, he will find official solution is we provide a feature here is called data scrollable. So if you put data scrollable here in a container, and the pop-box will move inside the scrollable container, and it will also tell you the reference. You can check the reference. Okay. Yeah. Actually, he will tell you where is the in your local system. Okay, so you can check your local system, or even check the same rule, the same file in the in a in a web. Okay, so you can see after this is the answer before he checked the document, and this is the answer after he checked the document. So if there's a sure, the assumption is if the document contains the answer. Yeah, if the document doesn't contain, then yeah, I think that will be it surely doesn't give you a better result. Okay, so let's try another longer question. For example, someone is also extracted from customer's answer for customer question. For example, someone used Listbox and he has is a dual code with a Java code to manipulate selections, and he finds multiple selection keeps switching. Sometimes have multiple selections, sometimes doesn't have. So let's try to see. Okay. So it seems he's already give us a good answer. This is the answer before. Even he doesn't check the documentation. So maybe let's try another question. Uh, oh, maybe we just compare. Maybe, and if he doesn't follow project rule, okay, this time he follow project rule. Okay, you can see he tried to call MCP. So yeah, we are still trying to enforce him to do it, but even when I tell him always follow these steps, he sometimes still don't follow my project rule. So I will keep trying to fine tune my project rule to make it actually always follow the rules. Okay, so you can see it's, for example, we ask a ZK question. Now he has to answer because I tell him answer a question related to ZK, and he follow rule to, you can see he run grab to find some document related here. So so you can see ZK provide a way to scroll component, because my question is, does ZK provide any way to scroll component to viewport? Yes, we have, and we provide this scroll into view, or scroll into view. There are several ways here, so we can find there's the documentation in the past here. Okay, so this is the way. And after you set up, you can let AI to help you to read the documents and answer the question for you, and also give you, for example, give you some code examples, and it will also read a code example for you. Okay, so this is the basic, the key, the key part I mentioned tell you today. So you can see asking question here, find MCP. Actually, there are two sites you can look for MCP server. I think maybe there are you might have other requirement. You can check MCP server here. It's called mcp.so or the smithery.ai. Both sites contains lots of MCP server you can check. He also tell you how to install MCP server. Okay, so this is the question I try to demonstrate you. I also test in my local, so you can see there are lots of questions. I didn't test every one by one, but just give you an idea. You can test by yourself. So in the future, I think we will keep improving zkdocs and example codes. So when you have problems, and when we update the zkdocs, then you can just update the Git repository and update your local repository from our repository, so you can get the latest information, the example code, and the document. So when you ask the questions, if the document can give you some understanding, you don't have to search by very specific keywords that you can describe some of your problems. Surely that we will also improve the document to match your problem descriptions, and so it's possible can give you some guidance. Uh, and we might try to prepare or create a dedicated MCP server of ZK knowledge that do all the setup for you. With this approach, you have to do the step of like clone the repository, install some different MCP server, set the path, something like this. So I think maybe we'll create an MCP server that just contain this setup, and also maybe clone the repository for you, so can save some efforts for you, will be simpler. And we will also keep refining the rules. You can see the rule is bad, it is good, but sometimes, yeah, AI agents also don't follow it. I'm still figuring out why, because sometimes I ask him why he doesn't follow my instruction, just say sorry, just apologize, and didn't tell me very, maybe I have to state it very, very strong. Okay, so this is sometimes an uncertain part, but at least if you ask him to follow, he will do it, but it doesn't always follow at the first time. Okay, so let's launch some poll, and we will have some questions for you. So if you have time, just I think everyone can see some question in your monitoring, and please answer some question. So for me, next time we can prepare another topic that's good for you, or you want another topic that interested for you. Okay, so let's see if someone has some questions. Let's check questions. Someone asked the questions. Why don't just train a model on your side and integrate it somewhere on the ZK side? Yeah, sure. This is also a way. But just like I say, this is costs lots of things, and also it will be limited by our capabilities. So if you try to use this way, you can choose your own models, and because the AI actually, the model changed a lot. Yeah, it changed very, very fast. So this way, actually, we are free to choose different models. You can choose free models, you can choose paid models, and different model have different specialized, but someone prefer cloud, someone prefer Germany, something. So, and the training a model usually, yeah, it takes a lot of cost, and sometimes will be outdated. So at least for now, we think this is more efficiency. Just let you, we are focusing on our data. It's the documentation and example code. This is what we can do best. So the AI model, there are many companies, there are many big companies that make great AI model we cannot compete with. So I think this is the most efficient way. We just provide the core ZK the knowledges for AI model, so AI model can search it with and read it based on MCP server, and then he will give you answers. So that's you also have the freedom to choose different models, and you can even choose your own models in your local, even your local AI model, so you can keep everything. If you have sensitive data or sensitive things, you don't want to access AI model online, maybe you are afraid that your data will be training data, so you can control by yourself. So we can keep improving our documentation example code that also can help you with the public AI model. And so I think this will be the most efficient way to help you instead of training a AI model, which is quite take a long time and sometimes doesn't give a better a result because you actually need a very, very large of data and a large of cost to train an AI model. At least we don't know a cheap way. Okay. Okay, so please, if you have time, yeah, please fill some this poll, fill this survey for us. And if you have any questions, you can speak out with your microphone or you can type in the chat and I can answer you. So this approach is give you some summary. So this approach is you need to install the MCP server, which is usually you need to clone this repository and configure the MCP server. The first two file system and screenshot syncing is the most important. Yeah, because you can see he will try to split the question into multiple steps. It will proceed the multiple steps of my my rules. He will try to read the document, search the document, and something like this. So and finally answer the question for you. So you need these two MCP server to do the step for you. And then after MCP server installed, another key part is the project rules. So you can get the rules and even add your own rules. If you have other specific requirement, you can add it here. Just configure your rule here based on my rule and tell him to do it. Maybe you want special format or you want special weight. So you can add it here. So you can answer based on your own way. Okay. So this is the approach I introduced today. Have you used AI for the core development at Polix? Any positive, negative so far? Yeah, we have. I think we personally use every day, but we are still trying because sometimes because there are many tools. So we usually, for example, I think there are several ways you can improve. Either you must speak out your write down your spec clearly or your question very clear to what you want. So like GitHub, the Copilot, yeah, usually it will help you, but you must be very explicit to what you want. And then the AI also make mistakes sometimes. No matter what reason, he will write the wrong code. So you need to keep using your version control. And this every time just change small part by small part. So when he changed the code, you verify it. And if it doesn't work or you have some problem, you can just revert back to your version with your version control. And so mostly, I think it's positive for these tools, but first you need to be very clear of what you want. If you ask a very vague question or very roughly question, or doesn't tell him the context of your project application, then you usually get the bad result. So that's why the rule is very important because this is can let the AI understand your context. Yeah. So if he doesn't know your context, usually he will answer in the wrong questions, wrong directions. So this rules or information is quite important. Instead of just adding doc to the docs in cursor, why? What do you mean adding to the doc in cursor? Uh, if you add docs, it doesn't. You have to. It's also a way, yeah, but you have to ask because the cursor doesn't read zkdoc by default. You have to ask him to do it. Yeah. So this is MCP servers. The MCP server is here. The reason I think I use it is either he can search the file, and the second one is he can the sequential thinking. I think this one is important. He will split your question to multiple steps, so he can execute multiple steps. And the file system, yeah, it's you can see he has a as a way to access your file system. You can read multiple file, you can write file or a search file. So I use these two to easily to let the AI to read my file, to read those documents or search those documents more powerful. I'm not sure this if I don't use. I think this one is essential, but the file system if I don't use MCP server for file system, I'm not sure does the agent have so many capability to manipulate files. Okay. So someone is still ask if suggestions for AI Copilot for Eclipse. Oh, sorry, because I don't use Eclipse for a long time. So, but I think it's the Copilot in IntelliJ is very similar to Copilot in Eclipse. So I think it's fine. Yeah. Would you recommend on-premise or cloud-based AI model for interference? As far as I know, on-premise model are limited to open source model, which underperform the commercial one. Is that true? Yeah, if you use because I think all the AI models are on cloud. It's cloud-based. You cannot, for example, OpenAI, you cannot install OpenAI for you, at least for now. Maybe in the future it will. So on premise, I think they are all based on open source. Yeah, but the is less powerful. I think could be. So far, the open source is it seems is less powerful, but things are changed every day or every week. So this is just for current status. It's very hard to know in the future. And I think sometimes you need to try but the open source model it's usually it's free. So it depends on your requirement. If you just want him to answer questions by reading document and code for you, I think it's fine. Yeah, unless you want him to uh, solve very specific like writing code for you, then maybe you need to use some kind of programming specific AI like a cloud code or this cursor Windsor. This tool is specific to AI coding, but some tools are just for writing articles or answering some questions. So it's still a little bit different. So I think you still need to try because there are many tools and every day it has a different thing, different status. Maybe after a week, it just become powerful. Sometimes Google become is better and sometimes the cloud is better. So I cannot say which one is it's more powerful or better because when I say so, maybe tomorrow it's changed. So I think you can just try it and see what you want. Uh, okay, yeah. If everyone have the time, please fill the poll and help us to know next time we can prepare which kind of topics or which kind of uh, tool that you are interested. Okay. Okay. If there's no other questions, if you still have questions, then please just type in the chat. And if you don't have any question, then thank you very much for joining this session and keep uh, focusing our website and our channels so to know the next training or if you have any suggestions and we can just tell us we can know how to what kind of topic we can prepare. Okay, so thank you everyone.